Hello, you're watching TalkScope on MNB World, and today we have invited to our studio personal and business development coach, enterprise mentor, and author Monica Batsukh. Thank you for accepting our invitation. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me today.
Personal and business performance coach Monica Batsukh currently runs Coaching Academy in Mongolia. After graduating from university in Beijing with a major in engineering, she decided to pursue a totally different career. For more than 15 years, she's been living in the United Kingdom. Her goal is to provide coaching and consultation that will encourage people to obtain a higher quality education and engage in entrepreneurship. I would like to start our interview with introduction to your occupation. Can you briefly tell us what is the definition of personal development coaching, personal performance coaching?
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great question. In this time of the year and all those the coaching, personal performance coaching or life coaching for many people as know it has been around like probably 30, 40 years in a world of history, what's going on in the world and what was required to grow the businesses and grow personal performances in the level of what we want to achieve as an ambition. Many people, it comes as a coaching. It has a lot of in-depth knowledge of the internal dialogue, how people talk to themselves really affects everything that we do and how we live our lives as a happy or having certain level of disappointment in their life. So all those things combined, and coaching has made such a distinct way of exploring personal achievement in a level person desired to be, and many people has done so. It's been developed from the people who's been successful all different areas of their lives, and it's been growing scientifically so well and neurologically and then linguistically, and everyone's developing in this. So at this stage around Mongolia, we are just starting now. We're just starting to understand this whole thing, what it is. It's been so exciting to see the potential of this profession can do to change the whole country, even to change a person's life, to change a business life, as well as to change the global view of growth and economical movements, what we are about to achieve. So it's been quite an interesting journey. Yeah.
I see. That's really interesting. I noticed that many entrepreneurs and business organizations are paying attention to the development of their staff, and I would like to know, how do you develop a person?
Yeah, the person, everyone has different level of understanding, the consciousness and level of their learning curves and how they deal with the defaults and how they feel from the growing up, the childhood memories and all those impact on the life, how we achieve in the in a career-wise as well as in a business, and everything is so much close connected. So one of those things we're so inspired to achieve at this level of in-depth is that everything is connected to the person's internal core values. And we look at deep level of how person is thinking, the style of the leadership, the style of the failures, and how they take on, style of the decision-making process, and all of those things combined. But nothing, it's a very complex subject in itself, but it's so amazingly inspiring once that's been, really understood well and being demonstrated or being coached to, someone who's so well, there's very well personal performance coaches, how they're doing the impact, they're doing the level, they go into the person's mind or person's way of seeing things, way of exploring things. Small little changes make a big difference.
I know that you have lived in the United Kingdom for about 20 years, and during that time in 2016 you have been shortlisted in the International Coaching Awards. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, it has been a lovely experience. I can't be, it's so amazing. For me, one thing, I felt like being in the right moment, in the right time, with the right people, the right support. And I graduated myself graduated, trained by the coaching academy in the UK. And we have all over Europe, and many of the students coming all over the Europe. And it's been such an amazing journey to feel inspired to work with amazing teachers and mentors. And one of those reasons, we all choose our niches in certain directions. I feel compelled to do. My passion was more about connecting with my home country. It's about Mongolia. And I have this vision or goal in my mind. It's like, transformation of poverty through education and entrepreneurship. And that was my idea of how we could use the coaching in the world of the business, in the world of the entrepreneurship, and in the world of the economic situation as well. So, yeah, and somewhere I was lucky enough to be nominated. I was lucky enough to be part of it. And I'm just quite surprised and very much enlightened by the whole process. It has been an amazing journey.
I know that you have founded Mongolian Coaching Academy. And how did you come up with the idea of founding Mongolian Coaching Academy?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's been quite a years of journey. Before that, we start Coaching Academy. And I think first, before even I went to the UK, and my profession from the first bachelor degree where I had, my degree was the engineering. So, after I've got that, really felt like I'm supposed to be doing great. But in the world of the business, and when we get to someone who's not trained well or who's not practically knowledge in the industry, it has been some tough challenges for me. And during that period, I just lost my self-confidence in a certain way. I find myself lost in a big world of business, a big world of everyone talk about something shiny. And I felt like I wasn't in the right place, in the right moment to express the life how it should be. I felt something was missing. The whole idea was that I had so many challenges in terms of the poverty, in terms of the country, how things are moving around. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand philosophy behind it. And that was where I started thinking I needed to, all those challenges, and people are struggling in their real life, and how could I do making money? That just doesn't make sense. Or being successful in my career, it doesn't seem relatively good if I'm not doing anything meaningful. It doesn't seem to be right. So that was around the 2002. I lost my father. My father was a teacher. So whole idea was just something shifted inside me. As soon as I lost my father, I've realized it's not the way to live. And most of Mongolians, I know someone like my father is such a good person and being teacher all his life, and he has given his heart and soul for everything, but it seemed wrong. And somewhere there was a missing gap, and I needed to find that opportunity to fill that gap. And that was my drive. And to begin with that, my initial desire is just to find those opportunities to give those people who need it. So Coaching Academy is founded probably 2017, 18, around that time. So yeah, it was a long journey from my coaching experience and what I really wanted to do, and put myself out there in the UK, and then gradually moved, okay, this is my time to start this non-profit organization to make something good, in which our purpose and desire is to change lives of 3 million people in Mongolia from poverty, transforming into wealth, and through education and entrepreneurship. And that's the whole journey began.
Yeah, that's really great idea to transform the poverty through education and entrepreneurship. And as a coach and mentor, I think you have a lot of clients and niche market. And among your niche market, who prevail more? It's more professionals who want to improve their development skills, personal skills, or it's more like entrepreneurs?
Yeah. At this stage, the entrepreneurship is a quite new idea. And many people still have some startup and all other things people want to do. What I find is many professional people are too busy even thinking about it. They feel like a little bit of box thinking and the level of their career and where they are at, and they think they are unable to do something. Many professions they feel like lost their soul in the workplace themselves. So most people come to me, even they have professionally very successful in the world view of success. They come to me in a really deep level of personal relationship and really seek their true, meaningful desire to achieve. So I don't normally question them who has a diploma or not. So all I know is that person needed to explore themselves in a big, purposeful, meaningful life. So yeah, we have so many different people, and mostly we do different niches, different areas of life. Personal performance has 3 different, we try to make it simplified possible. First, we look into personal level of our, how we see ourselves and the self-confidence, how they see in their career direction, how they see they're managing their finances, or how they look after everything, organizing everything around themselves, even time management goes by. And everything about that person is important for that person. We help them to give some tools and techniques to achieve that. And that's one of those areas we really focus on deep level, and it really helps a lot of people. And the second level is we look at the family relationship, and we do call it like family dynamic. It's lots of relationship. Many people suffer a lot more being not unloved by family, or really disconnection within the family members. The complications in a family members, and it is actually quite devastating for many people to lose their belief in life or feeling mentally unwell because of the relationship they can't handle, or because of the people they are surrounded by, but they feel a little bit more in different directions. They misunderstood each other all so often. So we work with those areas quite deep. And many, like there are dysfunctional families, there are domestic violence going on, all those things, it's hidden behind there. And even people who are very successful, as we know it, they still grew up from this, the life of someone is suffering, someone's unwell in the family, and all those we give and give and give, and it doesn't feel right at the end. It just is some areas we needed to tackle it deeper, so that gives such a difference in the world, and we're so proud of that work in a family relationship. And our third level of it is more to do with entrepreneurship. How do we put ourselves in the business world, and how do I use my career to develop into entrepreneurship step, startups into scale-ups, and all those steps. We have so many deep levels of connections, how we do our business models certainly certain way, and that everyone can feel they can make something bigger than themselves. So these are the 3 areas we have been working really well over the years, and yeah, we have steps, and we have certain system that works well. We're still developing, making it better. We're growing in certain areas like investments, how we're going to do your investments in the financial world of success. And we also look at the scale-up business and visions, bigger visions, and how CEOs can impact the world in a bigger way. Especially I'm really passionate to support those, changing the Mongolian culture, economic environment within their own business area, the directions they're heading.
Talking about the economic area, I know that you are author, writer of a book, and that you have wrote a book called Money versus My Value. Can you tell us what drove you to become an author of the book?
Yeah, it's a lot personal thing, isn't it? Money is very sensitive subject for many people, and we don't want to talk about it that often. We like the money, but we don't want to look like we're greedy about money. It's an interesting subject, and we also receive salary and run businesses based on the value of our own work in a certain way. And that exchange has been very unfairly founded, and many people don't know why they're being paid in such salary, or why their business is worth that much. It's a very confusing topic for many entrepreneurs, as well as young adult themselves, in choosing a career, and which kind of career am I going to choose? Am I going to the career that pays me better?
Or a career that I like, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. There's a conflict, a huge conflict internally. We battle every day. But certain way, there is a level of what we see, the value we create in the world can be really much assessed well. And my idea is like so many people do undervalue themselves. And that's why we give away too much for small price. Or we don't know how to value our work. We be shy away from asking money from somebody else. All those effects when you go into business. And pretty much, if someone doesn't know their value of their work, they ended up, not having money, living broke. All their lives, they're really nice people. They're very kind people, but they're not being supporting themselves well enough to live in the life of their real true work. And somewhere it comes with the self-confidence, the self-esteem issues, how socially we brainwash each other about what does it mean, what you should not do. And that has been leading direction for poverty for many people. So I'm just using this book, I'm just raising the awareness of your worth. You're worth more than what you think. But I'm not asking people not to be kind. Be kind to yourself. That's the whole meaning of, loving yourself and kind to yourself. Really understand you can be honest to yourself in a certain way. And some of those things we're not honest to ourselves. My work can be valuable, but somewhere they'll be, neglected their own needs.
And I heard also that you're planning to write another book related. Can you tell us about your upcoming book more?
Nice, thank you. Yes, currently we just doing the book launch today, as of today. So it's called 0 to Billion Master Plan. And this is a huge topic. It's it has been my work like last several years, and I started writing this book like 2 years ago. And I had this idea of like, we can, from wherever you are, you can achieve something big. Even you have debt, or even you feel like you've been victim of your life or your circumstance, and you can do something to step up a certain way, and certain things you can do slightly different, but it is possible you can become a billionaire, or in 2 Greeks for making
example,
simple.
Yeah.
Making it simple, just letting it is in Mongolian language, so everyone can understand it simply. And then when we talk about billion, it seems like not even reaching $1 million, right? So 1/3 of the $1 million, nothing much really to worry about. But this is achievable. You can achieve. Many people see themselves only few million to live by, but I think that it can be done. It is the steps I pretty much taught my system in that book. Lots of entrepreneurial journey, the type of things it's working for you, what type of natural resources you have. You can use that as to grow in the ladder of the system. It is doable, but it needs to be a little bit smart. And everyone is different. We wire differently. We do things differently, but you need to know what type of person you are, what type of animal you are, pretty much, right? And we all have different type of skill sets to use that to grow yourself into a level of the achievement, the desire you want to achieve, and it can be done. And I want to just create that ecosystem for entrepreneurs to grow.
What kind of advantages you have, right?
Yeah. And it is not just one person wins and the other loses. That's quite poverty thinking, right? So we're building ecosystem is all about how you can use the rest of the world. The rest of the world is supporting your wealth as well. That abundant thinking in there. So that level of thinking gives us such a way to find something that suits you well. So we're given that broad perspective of things. For many people, they can't imagine even they can have billion to level of status, but it is possible. I'm trying to just give them the map to move forward in that direction. So.
It's like all is related to your self-confidence and how you can get all the opportunities. Yeah. And we talked a lot about the startups, businesses, entrepreneurship, and I've noticed in Mongolia there are a lot of business organizations or entrepreneurs who get different types of consultations and advices from different coaches, mentors, and sometimes in some cases they do not achieve anything. And what kind of advice you would give to such entrepreneurs?
Yeah, entrepreneurs, they really need to, before they go to that, like that they're thinking, if they go to that person, they can just solve that one step forward. But it doesn't work like that. And many of those, there is so much insightful things they're not noticing. Many of those things that really, before you join that person, do you like that person? Do you really trust what they're doing? Is healthy, ethical in a certain way? If you don't trust that person, you won't be able to achieve anything. Sometimes it's not about them, it's about you. And entrepreneurs, they see themselves, they want to copy somebody, or they want to do what they're doing, but what they're doing has, the areas you don't know. And it's not going to be working for you, because your level is different. So you need to, first I want to tell everybody, is like, before you get any help,
Coaching,
before you pay
consultation.
money, you could even think about, okay, what do I want to achieve? Your goal and what you've done so far, how are you going to do it? And do you have enough time? Money is not the decision on this. It's about, sometimes they pay money, they go there, and they just think money will solve your problem. It never does. And most of the things, it helps more, is like so many ways you can save your money. So entrepreneurs really need to see, before you join any courses or programs or any mentor they connect, or for consultation sessions, they really need to know, like, what do you really want to achieve? The other thing, they come in, they think they have a wrong attitude. Entrepreneurs think, I'm too busy. I don't have the time. I know it all. I know you talk this, and I think I've tried this before. It's not going to work. The attitude is wrong, and then they're not in a state of learning. Entrepreneurs, they come in, they think they have it all, but they're really unwilling to be coached. That's really difficult to any coach.
Unwilling to cooperate.
Yeah. And they hide away some of their private information, which then it doesn't help. If you trust that person, you can talk about your problems. They really understand. And then that way they see, okay, maybe this is the way you can do something. They give something uniquely designed for you. If you're open to them, give them enough time to understand you, they will give you something magical. So many people, underestimate the power of the relationship, the trust, and they want to short win. That's where people fall. Yeah.
We talked about a lot about business and entrepreneurship, and I would like to ask, is there a possibility to become a personal coach after attending seminars and workshops about personal performance coaching?
Yeah. Generally, I think there is a short vision. Many people don't know how deep, how difficult the career can be. Not everyone can just go to medical school and become a doctor.
Yes.
It's not easy. And coach is the same thing. It's a complete new career, and some people can take it, some people can't. And they're not equipped to deal that. And some trainings, they seem to promise those, and some don't. And it's whichever. I've graduated from the coaching academy in the UK, and that wasn't enough for me. So although I had my diploma, I wanted to practice and train so much more. And they gave me certain areas I can train myself, and that's why it took so many years to grow myself as a person, grow myself to level of authentic, level of being a coach. And I appreciate what the tools I've learned. All those tools needs to be practiced in a deep level with the client, not just for yourself. You do it just, intellectually understanding it doesn't give you a good coaching idea. It doesn't. You miss out on lots of clues. You miss out a lot. You pretty much, all those young people wanting to go there. If you have a really serious commitment, just go there. Otherwise, it's just something you have a badge on, you can never use it, you feel guilty about you attending that course even. And that's a quite painful point for many people I've watched. And lots of people even attending my program and thinking they've become a coach after being trained as my client. But they're not trained as a coach, or they're not trained as anything. I just worked with them. It seems easy, but great coaches make it sound like easy.
Our last question will be related to the activities of the coaching academy in Mongolia. And in the future, what kind of activities are you planning to hold?
This is, I've been really inspired for the last decade of the work and how it's been leading so many people together. And we are building wealth creators network somewhere. Because what we now realize is everyone we taught, they become alive, pretty much like we awaken some leader in the world of economic in Mongolia. And I find it so cool, and someone who never had even, we have so many people who's got like abusive relationship and all other difficult life challenges they have experienced as a child or as an adult, and even now they're dealing with it. Somewhere it drove them to become stronger leaders. And we are so inspired to create more leaders, to give them more of the abundance of the choices they can make, help them to support along the way. So our coaching programs, what we have been doing several steps, like first you need to fix your, Chinggis Khan said that word, like first you need to fix yourself, second you need to fix your family, third you fix your country. All those 3 steps we've been doing that, all our programs. And every step we see different people growing out of it, and everyone wants to run a business. We're leading just that pathway. And what my desire is like creating more visionaries, CEOs, and someone who is innovative and thinking beyond their boxes of what society has taught you. And we are building those people, helping them to be strong individuals and voicing their strength out or expressing themselves, their core desire out there. And that needs a lot of work. In a certain way, we're looking at that level of thinking. And visionary CEO is so much, needed in this country now. And that's what I'm working for currently, as well as the next step we are really working toward is creating some sort of wealth investment portfolios for certain people. And it is some type, one of our courses called Money Mindset. We give the basics of personal disciplines and the personal level of the financial
discipline.
Financial disciplines. And next thing we are moving into how do you create the wealth as a person from moving from there. How do you keep more money than the amount of money you earn is fine. The money needs to work for you in a certain way. We're giving them strategies and tools to reach the, not just Mongolian market of investments, we're looking at the global market of investments and different types of investments. We give them details. So that is the area I'm really, really interested in. And previous programs are running amazing. We're just happy, and we need more support for other areas where they really need. And we are driving for transforming the wealth. We need more entrepreneurs to show up, more investors. Investor doesn't mean you have money to invest in. Investor means, you
can have technology, knowledge, right?
Yeah, every decision you make, the purpose of what's the result I'm producing with it, your time is an investment, your exchanges, your relationship is investment. All other things they need to put it in an effective, intelligent way, so everything runs for you. We are committed to transform 3 million people from poverty through education and entrepreneurship, and we're really doing every bit we could and putting the strategy.
Them where to invest
exactly
their skills, their time and knowledge, right?
Yeah, it has been such a interesting dilemma I have seen, and we want to keep focusing on it and make it even better. So yeah.
Today we had in our studio Mrs. Monika Batsukh, a performance mentor, coach, and we'll see you next time with more stories and interesting guests.